Gee whiz, you look good. That's a good-looking human in front of me. Alexi Sobelli. That was pretty good, wasn't it? My Italian isn't so good. Welcome, bro. Nice to see you. I met you in London. You were playing for Iceland, the Icelandic national cricket team, and I come down to spend a bit of time with you guys. That was a good, fun couple of days. How you going, man? How's things?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, I remember those days. They were actually amazing. You were like our mentor during that period, and I would love that. Being able to actually be with you and enjoying a bit of cricket, something that we share. And we're doing great in Rome. We've been locked down for like 40 days now, more or less. And it's a bit boring, but it's necessary, so we have to do it.
Now, okay, so first questions first. How does an Italian play cricket, firstly, and how does an Italian play cricket for Iceland next, secondly?
I still have difficulties trying to explain that.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It does a little bit. I mean, I was born in England. My family is half English, half Italian, so I had cricket in my blood. I'm just sad that in Italy is not. I mean, it's played at a good level because we have a lot of Asians and they're really good. But there's no cricket culture. So that's what I'm actually missing here.
Yeah. Where's the hotspot? So it's normally expats, isn't it? Expats, English, Asians, so the Pakistanis and Afghans and Indians, and then you've got a few Australians and New Zealanders and South Africans. Where's the hotspot for those expats, for those people that enjoy cricket that have come to Italy?
Well, we have three majors parts in Italy. One is like around Milan, so Brescia area. Then down to Bologna. There's a couple of major teams, and then in Rome, there's a couple really good teams in Rome.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm playing for one of them because I'm staying here in Rome. So, I mean, there are few teams, and they're very spread out in the country. So every time if you play, for example, for a top league, now I'm playing for Capanelle in top league, you actually have to travel all around Italy. So it's not easy.
But how far do you have to travel for a
drive 6 hours, 7 hours?
Oh, so like full domestic other end of it.
Oh yeah. And then you play 100 overs and then you drive back.
That's a level of commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you love the game, I love the game. I'm still trying to figure out how to make my wife like it because I'm still young, I guess. I mean, the other day I was looking at you retired at 36.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
And that's just two years from now for me. I'm scared. I'm a bit scared for that.
No way, you're 34.
Yeah, I'm 34. Yeah.
But you're a batter. Batters don't age. They don't get sore. Hey, so you grew up in England and then moved to Italy?
I was born in England. We stayed there till I was like 3, 4. I can't remember that. And then we came to Italy because my father's Italian, and I've been going back and forth for like years now. So I only had England.
How do you get cricket then? You didn't grow up here? You were here till you're 3 or 4. That's way too young to be involved in cricket, to have any sort of memories and geez, I want to play that game for the rest of my life sort of thing. How do you get into it?
My mom's uncle, he was like a good player, a good bowler. I turned out to be a batsman now, but I like to call myself a batsman. But
because you're lazy, that's right. That's because you're lazy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just I don't have the arm. I'm not very very fast, and he always gave me cricket balls, cricket bats when I used to go over in the summer. I stayed with him. We were playing cricket most of the time, so. From that moment on, I just realized that I wanted to play cricket all my life. And one day when I have kids, I want my kids to play cricket if possible. My wife here is listening and smiling, but and even if we have a girl, why not? Yeah. I love women's cricket. It's just like it's beautiful to watch. They're actually better. They're really good, and. So it turned out to be my favorite sport, and hopefully I'll play it at any level.
How though?
Old.
That still makes no sense. You grew up in Italy, where there is very, very limited cricket, getting bigger now because of communities coming together and access to people through social media, bringing people into cricket. But how do you get into cricket and have a passion for it when it's football and football?
That's it. Yeah, Italy is just seriously football. It's like religion here. But I don't know. I mean, we have to actually thank all the small communities that come from Asia mainly, because they came over and they brought with them their passion. Their main passion is cricket. Like all these kids that come along. Most of my team I play with, they're all Asians. Most of my friends were from Punjab, Sri Lanka. I've been in Punjab and Sri Lanka for weddings with them, and it's just so amazing. You meet people from around the world. It's one of my favorite sports. It's so calm. It's so relaxing. The people that play are actually really calm and relaxing people. You just join people from around the world without even knowing them, and on the field, outside the field, during that period, you're just all friends, and it's amazing.
Yeah, no, look, it is a wonderful sport. It does bring a lot of communities together. It does bring a lot of changes your social circle. Certainly in Italy like that, that's a big change. But I still don't get it. I still can't understand it. And to cap it off, you play for Iceland. Now that I know that, but it's still mad. How does an Italian play cricket for Iceland? Or British?
So I have a sports company in Italy, and I've been working in cricket in Italy, trying to develop the game in the schools. And still my friends don't understand it. I'm trying to get my friends to the pubs to watch the games and stuff. And so I know Darren, and I asked Darren Talbot, the coach of Iceland. He's an English coach. He's really good. I asked him a couple of times some advice for the coaching, for developing the sport in Italy. So we ended up talking a lot. And so one day I decided I wanted to go to Iceland and help him out, coaching and developing the game. So he said, "Oh, just come with me this period in England," when they were doing the tour in England. And I ended up being part of the team when a couple of players got injured. And so I was like a guest in the team, and I managed to do what I really love. So opening the batting for an international game with a national team, and it was really amazing. And I got to meet you too, and that was actually a good experience to meet like a professional player. And you were actually humble, helpful. You were just there in the field with us. It was actually really amazing.
Yeah, I like cricket though, and that's cool. Thank you, I appreciate that. But I just love the game. But it's a game that I've been playing since I was a kid though, and it's a game that I've been around since I'm a kid. So I have that sort of inherent joy of it, because I played it as a kid all the time, up and down the driveway, backyard, nets, whatever, wherever. We played it all the time. That developing that is very different coming from Italy. So you played cricket for Iceland illegitimately.
Yeah, basically, yeah. In fact, now I was trying to move there, find a job, but it's not really easy. And I think
the wife wasn't too keen either.
And I don't know. It depends how much I could earn. If it's a good amount, yeah, she'll come. I mean, they did another tour in Malta last summer, and I was invited. I was gonna go there as a physical coach, because my job is I work in sports science, but I wasn't allowed to play as an Iceland player since I didn't move there. So
your time for Iceland, your time playing for them, that's now over, because
it's over for if I live in Italy. Yeah, I can't play officially for them.
Yeah. So Iceland now have a legitimate status in terms of international cricket, where they have to now abide by.
They have to follow. couple of rules.
That's awesome. Sad for you, but that's wonderful for them. Now that Iceland team. So you slipped into that team from Italy, having never met the guys before.
No, I just knew.
You knew Darren,
coach.
Yep.
Darren, yeah, and that's it.
And you just
the guys
up.
there. They're so amazing, amazing people. Seriously.
Yeah, and it was a random mix of Brits living in Iceland, Asians living in Iceland,
Asians, yeah.
It was Australian living in Iceland, and it was a really strange combination. And it wasn't even like just Pakistanis or Indians. It was all of the Sri Lankans and Bangladesh. Everybody was represented there as like a United Nations kind of cricket team playing for Iceland.
Yeah, and we played against Switzerland that came with a mixed team too. So they got the best players from Switzerland, but they all had different backgrounds. So it was actually really nice.
It was fun. And you guys, Iceland had beat Switzerland, the first ever victory, and I got to stand in the changing room and just watch you guys enjoy that and just let that sort of filter through. How does someone that hasn't played a lot of cricket, I'm going to say that because of living in Italy, you don't get to play as much cricket as Australia, New Zealand, etc. So, but how does that then rate in terms of life achievements, that sort of scenario, playing in that game with people you didn't really know?
Yeah, well, I must say that in Italy we play not more than 20 games per year, 25, like actual official games, because there's not many teams. So you just have to play against the same team 3-4 times a year. Yeah. So going from being a fairly good player in Italy, but still Italian. So when people know that you're Italian, they're like, "Oh, you don't fit here. You're not a cricket player." To actually go and play for our national team, even though they were not in the ICC yet and whatever, it was actually a big thing for me. I felt like it was one of probably the best achievements so far with cricket. So it was like really nice.
So the teams in Italy, how far are you away from playing for Italy? Surely you must be able to start ranking.
Well, after I played for Iceland, actually before and after, I participated to like a meeting for the national team, for the Italian national team, and it's a bit of a controversy in Italy because most of the Italians, even like fairly good Italians, there's like 3 or 4, and then there's no more than that. Yeah. Are finding it very difficult now to actually participate. They're very open-minded, the coaches, regarding having foreigners playing, but they're not very open-minded for Italians. So they're not very open-minded towards Italians that play the game.
Really?
It's a bit sad, yeah, but we'll see. We have to do better. Last year, I played quite well, and I scored, I think in 10 games, I had about 350 runs. It's not super good, but thinking about a couple of games I played in like really horrible pitches. Yeah. And the ball wasn't bouncing at all. So
what are the pitches like? So you play, you've got a team up north, you've got a team halfway down, you've got a team in. What are the surfaces like? Are you playing on grass? Are you playing on clay and grass?
Well, you have to get used to everything. So there's 2 good pitches in Italy. That's it. The rest is like mat or turf, but the turf is not really that good. It's like just like grass growing everywhere. The ball just changing direction. A spin ball that can spin the ball for like 1.5 meters. So it's just like ridiculous. Yeah. So when I come to England and play with those nice turfs, it's just like so nice, so beautiful.
So where do you train? So you're in Rome. Where do you have your trainings? Have you got an indoor net or any sort of facility where you can go and practice and play?
Yeah, we do have facilities. The team I play with now has free nets, so they actually have a fair amount of space to actually train, and they have a good field and a good pitch. So I'm actually happy. So hopefully this coronavirus crisis will end soon so we can start playing. We usually in Italy, we already start usually in April. So yeah, like 2 weeks ago, we're already like on the fields playing.
Yeah.
And
So
we're talking about probably June, maybe this year.
You've been Italy locked down. Well, I think we all know it started a bit late, but it started when it did, and that's how it is. Were you training? Have you been training this season?
We started the training. We only managed to do a couple of weeks of trainings, and then we had to stop. Yeah. So everybody's keeping their physical training on. So we're working out every day. But I went back to the period when I was a kid. I was playing cricket by myself in front of the mirror. So I went back to that kind of game.
So you're just playing shadow cricket now. You're just looking at shapes, and you're gonna get more technical and keep it pretty.
Yeah, well, I just came back in February. I had the chance to play an indoor tournament with Darren. Yeah. We went to Vienna and we played this tournament. I was a part of a Touring team organized by Darren. It was actually really cool to just join an indoor tournament. It's not my favorite because I like to try to smash the ball every time. Like you get roofed out in those types of tournaments. So
yeah. Now you said you do. Did you say sports science?
Yeah, I study sports science and.
How do you? What do you do now? What are you doing at the moment then?
Well, at the moment, yesterday, 2 days ago was the last day of work for me because I work with my company inside an American university. I run the athletics department, and basically, I'm done working for now, at least until September, because most of the students left and they're not coming back for the summer programs. Yeah, and so. I work in like sports administration. I'm doing a master now because I want to go back to the science part a little bit and maybe just come over. I'm trying to come over to England and work in cricket. Yeah. Maybe like a physical part, coaching.
Yeah. What's your goal? What? So you are just so passionate about cricket and you just want to give everything to it. Is there? How do you see yourself fitting into it?
Well,
I think it's awesome, and I think it's amazing that you can think about it as a career, but there's no way that you should be able to make it a career, if that makes sense, given limited time playing and background. But I love it that you think you can, because that is the great thing about cricket, is everybody's input can be important. So how do you fit in? What is your dream job then?
Well, I must say that my dream is to keep playing, that's for sure.
Yeah, of course.
As for job, I've been working with the kids, trying to develop the game here in Italy. So I would love just to take another step and maybe go to a country where the cricket is actually played and working as a physical coach for any team, or keep developing the game in schools. And like, for example, in 2015, I went to Africa, to Zambia, and I was coaching soccer, so football and cricket there. So maybe like developing communities through sports, through the values of sports and stuff like that. I would love to do that. But I mean, I'm always open to any type of ideas. I mean, that's the reason why I end up playing for Iceland. I'm always open to actually try new things and throw myself and stuff and see what happens.
What gives you that freedom then? You must have a well-paying job and a great wife to allow you to just run off and go and do these things. But how do you justify that time?
Well, the wife is fairly new, so she has to get used to it. She still has to get used to it. But the job it gives me a bit of time because I created my own company 9 years ago. And with this company, I work mainly in an American university, but I worked in other American universities, or in other stuff too, other projects. And I'm very good at having people around me to help. Cool. So I don't care earning a lot of money as long as I have free time to do stuff. So
You
Yeah,
do
a lot of people yeah.
you've done a lot of and some of those answers, some of those things we were just talking about just there do fit. They match up with a few other things you do in terms of you do a lot of charity stuff, bro, don't you? You did a crazy walk last year, didn't it?
Yeah, 2 years ago, 2000.
Yes.
Actually, no, almost 3 years ago, 2017, I think. Yeah. I have this. I mean, I think I'm a very lucky person. I grew up.
Just say fortunate. Just say fortunate, because there's
Okay.
luck and then there's fortune, and you make your own luck with fortunate, don't you? Come on.
Okay. Thanks. So I'm a very fortunate person. I grew up with a fairly good family. My mom has always been there trying to help us, me and my brother, and then my little sister. I never had moments where I didn't have a job or I had bad periods or whatsoever. So I'm kind of like trying to give back something. And so I try to organize once every 2 years one of these crazy walks from the north of England down to London or Switzerland to Rome, or bike rides. It's also like a good way to get days off of work, because if you want to go for a bike ride of 15 days and you just go, you might get fired. But if you say if it's for charity, they'll just give you 2 weeks.
They can't hold you back. They can't stop you doing that, can they?
No, it was good though. Last time, and I always try to raise money for like children hospitals.
Yeah.
And last time we actually raised a lot of money, so I was actually happy that thing happened. And
how far did you walk, Alexi? How far was that walk that you did? That I thought it was more recent, but yeah, 2017.
Yeah, the recent one is it was like 800 kilometers, so 550 miles.
When was that?
August, September 2018, I think. Yeah. So 2 years. It was after the Iceland, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just going through my messages because I remember asking you how your feet were. 28th September to 27th September 2018, and that was a 500 mile walk, an 800k walk.
Yeah, 800k walk. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I love traveling. I love adventure. Traveling on foot or on a bike is totally different because you actually see the world in a different way, and you actually see yourself in a different way. It's some sort of an internal trip. So you discover a lot of things about you, and you discover a lot of things about life, what is important, what is not. It's more or less like a quarantine, because you just have to have your essential with you, because you walk in for like 15 hours a day. You can't have stuff that you don't need there. So
you're carrying all your equipment for the whole trip?
I've been carrying just a small backpack usually, because I had a support car that I used to meet every like 12 kilometers or 12 hours. And so it was a good experience. It was like an experience that I would suggest a lot of people. You go just through a lot of things, and you commit to something that is really bigger than you, but you get rid of a lot of your thoughts, of like bad thoughts, depression and stuff like that. So you just get rid of a lot of things because you don't need them. And you get back to what is actually really important, and you feel somehow important because you're doing something for others. So even you go through pain, you go through a lot of things, but you don't care because you're actually doing something for others. It's actually not bad.
Is that the motive? Look, you want to do it. That's a given. But the push to keep going and finish it, is that what you talk? That money that you are raising, is that is part of that motivation to help finish it?
That is part of the motivation. I mean, you have different things that push you. One thing is just trying to do something that you really want to commit to. You commit to this thing and you want to finish it. You just try to raise money. That's another thing. And trying to give yourself that time to understand what is really important in your life and why you shouldn't complain about things. At least that was my personal thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get back and understand what it was really important for me, and through that you can actually do it.
What do you keep trying to go further and do more? Is it a new challenge each time, or is it a similar challenge but just different terrain?
I don't know. I tried the second walk I did. I walked more miles per day, so I was trying to beat a bit of myself, beat my limits and my record on the previous walk. But I mean, the main challenge is not trying to walk more or do it faster. It's probably try to get more people involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's more or less like teaching kids cricket and trying to develop the game, or trying to develop anything. You just want people to get involved. You want people to understand your point of view. You want people to gather together for something more important than it's just wasting time doing something that is not actually important. So
you like to keep yourself busy. I have to take that away from what you're talking. You have to. You seem like someone that has to be busy, has to be doing something, has to have a goal, has to have a focus, has to have.
My wife doesn't like that.
So you're not a couch sitter. Basically, you have to be.
I just get bored quite easily, and I tend to fall. If I don't do something, I tend to fall in like in the deep thoughts, and I just don't like it. I just like to keep. I don't like. I mean, this quarantine told me that I'm not good at a lot of things, so I hate not doing stuff. So I was playing the guitar the other day, and I was getting bored of myself. I was like, oh, I only know these like 6 songs. Fuck it. I just hate it. Mm-hmm. So I need to do stuff, just not to get bored. Probably. My wife says that she's from the US, and in the US they'll give you medicine for this. But
it's true though, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, look, I know what you're talking about. I get it that staying busy and keeping your mind occupied is that is really hard to do. But I'll go back to your long walkings and you're talking about it, how it helps you with sort of your mental health. Tell me some of the things that you're thinking about on those long days when you're plodding along, step after step. What is the thought pattern? Where do you end up inside your head?
Oh, you end up sometimes the pain is really bad, especially in your knees. Physical pain is really bad. And but walking is it can be boring if you think about it, just walking for like 13 hours.
Yeah, I hate
15 hours.
Yeah, there's no point.
But it's such like physically and mentally walking through a different environment. It's just like it just renews your ideas every time. You just think about a lot of things, and you think you're more smart when you walk and think. So you think a lot of cool things. You end up in nice places, nice memories that you have in the past. I had probably most of my best ideas when I was walking. And some of them we'll probably talk about it later when we're not on screen. So yeah, it's just a way to let your mind free and just think about anything you want, and so ideas will just come up by themselves.
It's like an enforced self-reflection, isn't it? You've given this amount of time, and you have a distance to cover, but in a different way of looking at it, you've decided to isolate yourself, stay active, and then the mind wanders, and it does a lot of work when you're there.
Yeah. And you have time to think about it. You can't just like say, no, I don't want to think about it, and do something else. You have to.
To an extent, it's a meditation that involves a lot of pain when you're walking those kind of distances. Do you enjoy that pain?
I kinda, yeah. It's like playing. If you play a sport, the day after, I mean, the same night you have pain everywhere, but the day after you just want to play again.
Yeah. See, I have a really a theory on this one, and I've spoken about it before on a 108. That now I don't know if I have no idea how this fits in with psychology and fits in with mental health, but there's an element that over a vast population, more boys play sport than girls. And then when you go back to mental health, there's more girls self-harm than boys do. And I kind of have a feeling that sport, for some males, is kind of an element of self-harm because of the pain that we will put up with to go and play that sport. We will go and put ourselves through stupid amounts of pain for leisure, for recreational activities, just to be doing something and staying active. I see? I don't know where to go with this because that's a whole lot more research that I might look into. But what do you think? Is something in it?
Well, we know that physical exercise. So we can talk about sports because sports is like extreme most of the time. Yeah. So physical exercise is really good for people that suffer with depression. We're actually doing a lot of studies about it. I've been studying a lot of things about it because I'm finishing my master now, and I love sports psychology.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, when we talk about sports, we talk about extreme cases of physical activity. So most of the time, people that play, especially maybe your level, people that play your level, and I will never forget your interview about Jonathan Trott. When you play at your level, there's a lot of involvement of the actual person, and physically you're just devastated because you actually have to be better than the others all the time. So you have to seriously kill yourself to be better than the others. And so in that case, at least so far, since more male are playing sports, professional sports, there's more males are like push themselves a lot more because they want to be better than the rest, than the top. So there's a bit more. I'm not gonna disagree with you, but I don't know that. I don't think there's a difference between how much men and women push each other. But there is an element of competitiveness that can be different. I think that's a little bit safer way of. It's a bit, that's the language barrier there. You're actually explaining it better.
I do. Like I've got two kids. I have a 9-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy, and he loves running around. He loves playing sport. She loves doing craft things. She loves sort of sitting down and hanging out and having a drink. And it's so weird because they've all had the same toys growing up, and they've all had the same access to everything, that I actually do have a boy and I do have a girl, and they are boy and girl as a stereotypical boy and girl are. And so I look at these two as a sample of two. And I have a daughter that isn't really bothered by competition, but she is competitive. And I have a boy who loves competition and loves playing, but he's not that competitive. He just wants to be involved. And it's a real kind of real strange one, that they both have a level of competitiveness, but one has to succeed and the other one just wants to play. So and so I just wanted to, I wasn't too sure if I quite got your meaning on that. But it's so boys play sport, and I think that's to an extent more boys play sport than girls do. And there's an extent that is the preemptive self-harming. It gets that out of their system. It makes them feel similar feelings to what I've read and understood about self-harm. I didn't expect to be going here with you this, but it's interesting. I find it hugely interesting.
Oh, it can be. I mean, you've just explained about your daughter and son. It can be a bit of a social result because maybe. I mean, I know you're not one that says to the kid, "Oh, you have to do sports," and the girl, no. But maybe they picked up outside your house. They see things that how things goes, like TV. If they watch TV, they see how things goes on TV. And it's a bit sad to think about it because we're not giving both male and female the same opportunities. And I really hate that because then when you see women's sport, it's so much better. It's so good. Like technically, I'm talking about cricket especially because I love that. If you see the girls playing, they're so technically perfect. And I loved it. I really love that. So I think
women's cricket for me, it's the men's game and the women's game are almost two different sports. Same rules, same things apply, but they're almost two different sports in the way that they are played. And I absolutely agree with the skill level versus the ability to just muscle it and get out of trouble. I think but I really do think that they're completely different games, but they look similar. How do you, and you want to bring cricket to more of where you are?
Yes, or maybe just
because it's been really good for you, or you just think it's such a good team but individual sport.
I think cricket has been really good to me. Like most of my best friends are just my best friend through cricket. So I think it's a good way to share the values of sports. But also I think it's a good sport and people need to know it because it's a good cure for a lot of racism, especially in Italy now. It could be like a good cure for that. And so I hope through cricket I'll help a few kids around Italy, especially trying to see the world in a different way.
Yeah. That's how does the infrastructure help though? How do you get the infrastructure to allow you more access to a sport like cricket? Because it is just football. There's a few basketball courts, I'm sure. But where are the spaces that you can play locally? Are there car parks that you can sort of take over when people go home from work? What are those spaces like where you live? I mean, you're in a big city.
Well, you have to be happy to play anywhere. So you have to adapt to the game most of the time, especially for the kids, or just play in a park and just be careful not to kill anyone with that leather ball. So most of the time we play with tennis balls, especially when you train the kids. But then, if you're in a official team, you have like facilities where you can train and play. So it's not actually bad. The schools are a problem when you teach cricket because most of the gyms are so small here and they don't have an outside park or outside facility. So it's really difficult sometimes. But you end up like adjusting a few things and then just manage to actually cope with it.
Basketball court, but there must be a few indoor courts that are longer than sort of 20 meters. You must have a few 25 and 30 meter places.
We do, but Rome is not very famous for that because it was built. Most of the gyms were built during the fascist era. So the gyms are like not very well built. Usually you have to have a small pitch. And it's good when you train the kids, but then with the older guys, you just have to go outside.
So give me a feeling of what Rome's like at the moment, Alexi. Give me what's happening outside your window and what's happening around you, because it hasn't been great. It's been really horrible to watch what has happened in Italy, especially. What's it like there, man?
It's quite deserted. It's kind of scary when you live the city when it was like very populated. There's a lot of tourists coming around, and now it's like the opposite. There's seriously no one around. Police cars going around to check. A lot of ambulances going up and down. Controls check everywhere. Queuing up for like 3 hours if you need grocery. So it's like it's not easy to watch it like this, but I mean, it's probably necessary, but there's nothing we can do about it apart from stick to the plan. So
Is it? I was watching this sort of unfold and got my opinions on it, and et cetera, et cetera. But because Italy, I'll use it as a pigeonhole, as a bring it all together. Very sociable, and sit down and have a coffee, and very community, and very come together. Leave your house, come together, and then go back to your house. Everything seems very social within your cities and within the communities. That then means that there's a problem with this virus, because social activity is no good. How does that fit in with mental health? Because people aren't getting that social interaction. How are you guys doing?
well, the
You
thing
can talk
that
for yourself.
we're very worried, especially about old people and people that actually go through like difficult mental status, because it's actually very it's kind of scary sometimes, just be by yourself for like hours and hours and hours, especially if you used to Roman people are used to go out and just hug each other, kiss everyone. They love Roman people love to touch others. So we just went from one extreme to the other, and it's a bit scary. I'm lucky because I'm here with my wife, but I can imagine like a lot of people by themselves most of the time of the day, or old people. They can't even have like their children going around, and so it's a bit scary.
So apartment living is pretty much how you live in Rome. Is that how you live? You have an apartment, and how do you get in and out? How do you get in and out and go to the shops?
We're lucky.
Those things.
We're lucky because we have a big terrace and a big garden,
Okay,
because we're staying at the campus where my wife works. But I can't imagine people that live in an apartment now. It's just, I will feel so bad. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, I just find it. I mean, I've got 3 more sleeps until I'm sort of out of isolation, if you like. So I've got back here.
Yeah, you got stuck in New Zealand, right?
Yeah, I got stuck in New Zealand. I had 10 days extra in New Zealand that I didn't. Well, I enjoyed, because I was staying with mum and dad. It wasn't the worst, but I wanted to get back here on the 25th. Anyway, Emirates flight, they stopped flying on the 25th, so that didn't help me. And then I had 10 extra days in New Zealand, which then didn't change what happened here when I got back. So there's no law, there's no rule here, or any sort of new for me to self-isolate for 2 weeks, like there is in New Zealand, like there is in many other countries at the moment. So I didn't have to self-isolate here in the UK, and I just find that mad. And so I'm up to day 11, 3 more sleeps until I can sort of see the family. And I've walked 10 meters. That's the furthest I can walk where I'm at. I'm a little bit worried that going up and down the stairs in a couple of days' time, I'm going to end up with sore muscles and cramps because I haven't walked anywhere. This is just it's mad living in a hotel room, like an apartment sort of thing. I have a bed and a bathroom, and I haven't left this room for 2 weeks, or almost 2 weeks. What do you do?
I know it's difficult. It's really difficult. I try to have a small routine. So working out in the morning, study now because I have to study. You try to fill up your days.
But what's it like for you then? Because you want to stay busy. You got to keep that mind ticking over.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I'm lucky because I just find new ideas and stuff to do now. I'm actually a kombucha brewer now.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
making my own kombucha.
Yeah.
I'm making my own sourdough. I'm trying to make different things, and I just get the kitchen dirty a lot. And so, I try to stay busy. Try to have some sort of routine, work out every day, even twice a day when I'm bored. So I just try to do new things most of the days, and
but it's hard to get out of bed, isn't it? Like, because there's nothing to get out of bed for unless you keep your routine. How hard is it to keep the routine? Just stay in bed. I'll just stay in bed until 11. It doesn't matter.
No, I kind of hate that. I don't like staying in bed. I really hate it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I usually get up quite early in the morning, trying to find out something to do. Usually it's like working out as soon as possible.
Mhm.
So I can work out even in the evening, and then start studying, start reading, I go outside. I'm very lucky. I have quite a big garden. We play tennis against the wall or tennis against my wife, so it's not bad at all. Um,
You don't teach her too much cricket then, obviously.
I'm trying, but so now that Australia came out with the series, The Test.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show a bit of cricket through that because it's not as boring because it's not just a game. There's a bit of talking. There's a lot of chatting actually.
There's a lot of swear words.
Yeah. So I'm trying to let my wife watch it every now and then to see if she can get into the culture of cricket.
Yeah.
And she noticed one thing that I'm happy she did.
Mm-hmm.
In the changing rooms, there's no one shouting all the time. People are actually talking in those changing rooms, and I love that. Well, it's just a different culture. So cricket is just relaxing.
The perception of sport from your wife is that a changing room is shouting orders and getting grumpy and kicking.
Yeah, she's American. She grew up with baseball and American football.
But that's how American movies portray coaches and managers, grumpy and kicking things. But it is a bit more. Wrong word, but gentlemanly in terms of it's a bit more. Certainly a nicer environment than how far through the series are you?
About 7 episodes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So I got to the Ashes.
Yeah.
And that's painful for me because I support England, but
yeah. Do you how much cricket do you get to watch on TV? So in terms of upping participation, do you have to have an extra subscription to get cricket on TV?
Or? Oh no, it's quite impossible. So
yeah.
One thing is going to the pub and just get wasted because you can't just sit there 12 hours watching cricket. Mm-hmm. So another thing is like going through all
you can get the pub in Rome to put the cricket on.
Yeah, there's two pubs.
Okay.
The only two pubs in Rome where you can actually watch cricket, and they're nice pubs too, so it's not bad. But you can't go there every time there's a game. So sometimes you just have to open your computer, find one of those sketchy bad websites.
Yeah.
And most of the time, my wife comes in when there's some hat of porn coming up, and I have to explain that I was actually watching cricket.
Yeah, sure.
So it's quite difficult.
Yeah. So basically, to watch cricket in Italy, you're down to illegal strings.
Yeah, most of the times.
Yeah. That's
after this.
What? Yeah, you're off to the. Okay. That's it. You're done. As long as your VPN says somewhere else, you're okay. Hey man, So give me an insight into. So you do sports science. Give me an insight, and you said you enjoyed the psychology of it all. Do you have some of your sort of philosophies worked out in terms of how you would like to be inside of a team? What does a good team look like?
That's a good question. You mean?
Well, I mean,
to work with.
Like, if you're coaching and you're a senior player or you're a coach or you're coming into a team here as anywhere as an employee, what is this is something that was so I've always wanted to coach, but I've never wanted to be head coach and I worked out why. It was because I hadn't worked out a philosophy or how I want this team to exist and how do I define success and define failure. And as soon as I sort of had this time thinking and developing this, it was like, do you know what? I can coach a team. I can be a head coach because all of a sudden I've given myself all the tools and KPIs, all of those measurements are now there. And so I basically started at redefining success as part of my philosophy like if you can share a smile with someone, give it and receive it warmly, that success. And so I started there with kind of a philosophy for a team environment for how coaching and managing and being friends and being a family started there. Have you given that a lot of thought in terms of teams that you've played in, things that you've liked, things that you'd like to bring?
Well, the group, what were you talking about? Like creating a group where you actually feel welcome is one of the most important things when we talk about sports, especially like psychology in sports. So if a person feels welcome in a group, feels that this person has been valued, you definitely commit more to things. So yeah, creating like a nice group, creating like a nice environment is probably the base for any person, any coach. So making everybody feel welcome by recognizing their values is actually really good. Basically, yeah, that's the base. And then trying to teach everyone about the good way, the good thing about differences, the good things about committing to stuff, because committing, it means doing something that you like. So you understand if you actually like something, you commit to it. And if you commit to stuff, you're definitely gonna get better at things. So
you've got that Iceland group who none of them are from Iceland. Although there was one, wasn't there? Was there one player from Iceland, I think?
I think most of them, I think all of them, they're actually, yeah.
Okay.
Only Jacob. I think Jacob was half Icelandic because his mom was Icelandic.
That's right. And you've got a group that is very socially diverse, very ethnically diverse, but there was this common goal. You know, some of those countries that those guys are from are in war and have been war, but you've got this game that they all loved. And there was none of those borders. There was none of those barriers. And it was just a real interesting mix of cultures and languages. And it was, and so that group there come together because of a love of cricket. Kind of without having that in your childhood, that's a hard thing to develop inside a team, isn't it?
It's hard, but when you love something and you share something, you just come together quite easily, and you seriously don't care where you come from, or you just overtake all that stuff. So you really don't care.
Mate, what's next for you? What's next on your list of things to do? You got another big walk planned, or a bike ride or something?
Yeah, I was planning a couple of bike rides. So as soon as we manage to head out this quarantine, we'll probably start organizing bike rides, walks, and the plan with my wife is to move back to UK. So looking for a job too. So
don't tell anyone.
there's plenty of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you move back here and you'll play cricket, and you'll have and has your wife lived in the UK or been across?
No, she just visited a couple of times.
Sure. Yeah. Terrible place, terrible people. My man, hey, thank you. That's cool. That's a different insight into cricket, if that makes sense. I've had some amazing players. I've had some amazing media people. I've had some amazing coaches and people sort of in and around cricket. I've talked to whitewater canoeist, kayaker, and talking to someone that's in cricket and loves cricket, but not from that top level down. Don't take that, in terms of. But you're the passion of the grassroots. You're what helps our game flourish. So this has been a different kind of a chat, and I appreciate that. Thanks, Alexi.
Thank you,
Alexi. It's just brilliant. What are you going to do for the rest of the day, man? How do you plan your day when you're just locked down in Italy, locked down in Rome?
Well, I have a bit of study to do for my master, and then maybe I'll just head up to the roof and get a bit of sun.
Nice work, nice work. Right, I'm going to stop this recording, and we'll speak to you soon, man. Take care. Nice to see you.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Hi, Ian O'Brien here. Thanks for getting to the end of this 108 with IOB. I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe, please, please. But also leave us a message down below in the comments about what was your most interesting or favourite part of this chat. Thanks a lot. Love ya.